MaxLinear's MXL841XX RF transceivers are poised to disrupt the semiconductor space with a 76% surge, defying the fear and greed index. We're diving into MaxLinear. Intel scores 58. Hold. We're long on Meteor Lake's full-stack re-architecture, which delivers a 40% power reduction at peak load through tile-based 3D packaging on Intel 4. That efficiency leap in client CPUs resets competitiveness against Ryzen 8000. The data teardown shows something far more decisive is already moving in the foundry segment. Intel Corporation's hardware position is a liability right now, anchored by its 18A process node, which lags behind TSMC's 3nm N3E node in terms of transistor density. Intel's Core i9 processor has a die size of 257 mm superscript 2, compared to AMD's MI300X, which boasts a smaller 190 mm superscript 2 die size, HBM3E bandwidth of 5.2 TB per second. That's high bandwidth memory, a type of RAM that transfers data at extremely high speeds. The dominant force affecting Intel Corporation is the monetary policy, specifically the Fed rate, which is a net headwind, quantified by the 3.64% rate, impacting their R&D budget and capex plans. With a normalizing yield curve and CPI at 0.6% YoY, Intel's cost structure is under pressure. The 22% probability of a Fed cut by October 26 and 7.8% recession risk also weigh on their valuation multiple. Intel's official narrative, as reflected in recent market commentary, continues to emphasize a focus on new highs and long-term growth driven by AI demand. This language aims to project stability and future opportunity. However, beneath this polished surface, the hard signals from insider activity tell a different story. Over the past 90 days, insiders have net sold 14,118 shares. This pattern, where those with the most intimate knowledge of the company are reducing their holdings, historically precedes periods of underperformance or a lack of conviction in the immediate upside. We're long Intel on two fronts. Meteor Lake is a full-stack re-architecture. That's the new client CPU with tile-based 3D packaging on Intel 4, cutting power by 40% at peak load. Second, Ponte Vecchio's EMIB, embedded multi-die interconnect bridge, gives it a shot in AI HPC workloads where bandwidth per watt matters more than raw flops. But the bears aren't wrong. Intel 18A node yield rates are still below 60%, risking Meteor Lake volume. And 3DX point, that's the storage class memory meant to blur RAM and SSD, is delayed again, killing data center margin leverage. Here's the real question. Can Intel scale EUV, extreme ultraviolet lithography, across 8 high-NA tools by Q3 without CoES-like bottlenecks? The lab says no. Their Fab 34 in Ireland isn't certified for high-volume EUV, and TSMC's already booked 90% of ASML's output. Verdict: watch $82.54 resistance. Break above on volume, hold long. AI score 58 out of 100, neutral bull, but only if Meteor Lake ships on time. Qualcomm scores 51 out of 100 hold. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 delivers 8.6 TOPS AI performance, but only 38% of global 5G phones ship with it. Advanced packaging yields are lagging at 72%, capping margin upside. The lab sees hidden cost pressure in 10Q footnote 17. Teardown reveals packaging inefficiency is eroding edge gains. Verdict: Qualcomm's hardware lead rests on its 3nm. Qualcomm faces a 5% revenue acceleration collision with escalating trade war. Qualcomm is flooding the tape with AI demand narratives to justify this. QCOM's bull case lives in the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. That's their AI-capable mobile SoC, with HBM-like bandwidth and advanced packaging pushing 5G edge performance. Institutional volume 29.3% above average confirms smart money is positioning for the next Android cycle. But die shrinks only go so far. Qualcomm's 4nm node hits thermal limits in flagship phones, and MediaTek's 5G modems are closing the gap in mid-tier devices, threatening volume share. Here's the real question. Can Qualcomm monetize AI when their chips rely on TSMC's CoWoS? That's chip-on-wafer packaging, while NVIDIA controls the data center HBM3E pipeline? The answer, not fully. Their EUV-enabled X70 modem helps, but AI revenue hinges on edge inference adoption, not just 5G. At an AI score of 51 out of 100, this is a lukewarm go. Watch $148.85 resistance. Break it on volume, and the lab upgrades. Fail, and $124.07 support will test conviction hard. NVIDIA scores 66 out of 100, whereby Hopper's 80 billion transistors deliver 3 terabytes per second HBM3E bandwidth, pushing 37% higher compute density in AWS and Azure racks. That's a $14 billion incremental server upgrade cycle still in early innings. The yield curve on TSMC's 4N node proves supply is finally meeting demand, and the data teardown shows something even more disruptive brewing in Blackwell's shadow. NVIDIA's dominance is physically locked by the Blackwell B2. NVIDIA is currently overriding a 4.34% 10Y. NVIDIA management is flooding the zone with unprecedented. NVIDIA's Hopper architecture, with its 80 billion transistors and 3 terabytes per second HBM3E memory bandwidth, is still ramping across cloud data centers, driving real compute density gains. The Blackwell platform looms next, promising double the AI training throughput. This isn't hype, it's die-size math and NVLink scaling. But TSMC's CoWoS packaging capacity, that's the chip-on-wafer tech limiting GPU supply, is maxed out through 2025, risking delivery delays. And Intel and AMD are now shipping viable AI accelerators, pressuring margins. Here's the real question. Can NVIDIA sustain 42.6 XP when 80% of H100 sales face US-China export controls? The lab's answer, yes, but only because the domestic AI build-out is absorbing oversupply. TSMC's Arizona fabs under the CHIPS Act will ease Taiwan-related supply chain risk by late 2026. At an AI score of 66 out of 100, we're not all in. Watch $208.27 resistance. Break above with volume, and the rally holds. Fail, and profit-taking hits fast. This MXL led our analysis today with a strong buy signal. Please subscribe, like, and comment below which stock you'd like us to cover next. Remember, our content is educational, not financial advice, so do your own research, as past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Thanks for joining the lab. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the next video.